Most people would never guess this about you, but these habits tell a very different story. The ones that made you feel odd, the ones you learned to hide in certain rooms around certain people, the ones you quietly wondered about, whether they meant something was wrong or whether they meant something else entirely. They mean something else entirely. Number one, you talk to yourself. Not occasionally, regularly. In the car, in the shower, sometimes mid-thought when you forget other people can hear you. Most people treat this as an embarrassing quirk. Psychologists treat it as a marker of high verbal intelligence. Talking through your own thoughts externalizes your internal processing. It slows the mind down enough to actually examine what it's doing. You aren't muttering to yourself. You are thinking out loud in the most literal sense. And the fact that your thoughts need that much room should tell you something. Number two, you stay up too late. Not from bad habits, but because something in you comes alive when the world finally goes quiet. Research on circadian rhythms and intelligence consistently finds that night owl tendencies correlate with higher cognitive flexibility and abstract thinking. The stillness isn't just comfort. It's when your mind finally has enough space to breathe. The world spends all day interrupting you. The night is the only time it stops. Number three, you have a hard time finishing things. Not because you're lazy, anyone who knows you knows that isn't it. It's because your mind moves faster than your hands, faster than the process, faster than the version of the project that currently exists. Psychologists call this the ideation-execution gap, the space between conceiving an idea in full and tolerating the slow, imperfect work of building it. Highly intelligent minds live so vividly in the finished version that the unfinished one feels almost unbearable. The problem was never your follow-through. It was that your imagination arrived years ahead of your timeline. Number four, you notice things other people walk straight past. The shift in someone's tone that happened 2 sentences before they admitted something was wrong. The detail in the background that doesn't quite fit. The question nobody asked that was actually the most important one in the room. This isn't hypervigilance in the clinical sense. It's pattern recognition running constantly in the background of your mind, cross-referencing everything against everything else. You don't choose to notice. You simply cannot not. Number five, you find most small talk quietly exhausting. Not because you're cold and not because you don't care about people. Often it's the opposite. It's because your mind immediately wants to go somewhere real, somewhere underneath the surface, and small talk feels like standing in a doorway without being allowed to actually enter. Research consistently shows that highly intelligent individuals report lower satisfaction with surface-level social interaction, not from arrogance, but from a genuine appetite for depth that casual conversation rarely satisfies. You weren't being antisocial, you were just hungry for something the room wasn't serving. Number six, you ask why long after everyone else has accepted the answer. The policy, the tradition, the rule that's always been the rule, these don't sit comfortably with you the way they seem to sit with everyone else. Philosophers call this epistemic restlessness, the refusal to let a question close before it's actually been answered. It has probably made you difficult in certain rooms. It has also made you the only person in those rooms who was actually thinking. Number seven, you feel things very precisely. Not more dramatically than others, but more specifically. You don't just feel sad, you feel the particular texture of this sadness, in this moment, for this reason, connected to that older thing from years ago. Researchers find that high intelligence and emotional granularity are deeply linked. The same processing depth that sharpens analytical thinking also sharpens emotional perception. Your feelings aren't bigger than other people's, they're just higher resolution. And that resolution, as exhausting as it can be, is also the source of your deepest empathy. None of these habits are accidents. None of them are flaws that simply haven't been corrected yet. They are a portrait of a mind that was always working harder, reaching further, and feeling more than it ever let on. If any of this felt less like a list and more like something you already knew but needed someone else to finally say, share it with someone who's been quietly wondering the same thing about themselves. The mind that never quite fit the room was never meant to be contained by it.